So now to get started with the panel, I'm going to go ahead and read, although he doesn't need an introduction, but I still like to do an introduction for him. In case you haven't had the pleasure of meeting Marcus Starter yet, is the president and CEO of Mentor California, the California affiliate of Mentor, the national partnership, the unified national champion for expanding quality mentoring relationships for young people, a father, a husband, career educator, youth and community advocate, and I'm also going to add here, and a mentor. He is a 25-year veteran in public education. Marcus spent 8 years in the classroom and 9 as a high school administrator, most recently as Director of Youth Development for Sac City Unified School District. Let's go ahead and welcome Marcus, who will go ahead and introduce our panelists.
All right. I think this is working. Y'all doing all right? Put that phone down. I'm just playing. I'm totally playing. Yeah, you'll get used to it. Y'all got me for another 50 minutes. Excuse me, my voice is tired. It is National Mentoring Month. We have had tons of events, and this is just one that we are extremely excited to be able to continue having with our partners, with Sac County Office of Education, of course, Ray Green. Ray sitting back there, he cleaned today. Y'all also may not know it, but we're not just going to introduce Ray. I also want y'all to know that the man who made Ray who he is today is here. So Ray Green, his father, can you just wave your hand for it back there, y'all? You got a good son. You did all right. We like him a little bit, just a little bit. So we're going to get ready to bring our panel up here, and I'm going to introduce them. Let me just say this. They got long bios. I'm going to let them tell a little bit about themselves. Like, I could just say, if anybody watched the Motown Christmas special, y'all would have seen this amazing woman who is doing amazing community work. She is doing amazing youth work and just expanding all of what she has done. I remember when I first came here, now almost 10 years ago, 10 years in August. It's been a long time. I'm getting old, Dylan. So I remember first meeting her and just her passion for young people in dance and arts and just really introducing them to a really wide array of opportunities. So I'm going to give you a little bit of this bio. This ain't all hers, but it's long, and I'm going to let her tell the rest. But Miss T is a 30-year dance education expert specializing in pulling the best out of youth. She has developed some of Hollywood's most sought-after young dancers, including the 2016 winner of So You Think You Can Dance, 2018 World of Dance stars, members of the Jabberwockies, and more. Her graduates currently travel the world with artists and celebrities that include Justin Bieber, Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Usher, Beyonce, Ellen, and more. You'll see her graduates on the stages of MTV Music Awards, Nick Choice Awards, BET Awards, and so on and so forth. But to her, some of the biggest successes of her program have come from the college students who finished high school and went on to become college graduates. There's so much more. I'm going to give them an opportunity to really tell you a little bit more about their story. But y'all welcome our first panelist, Miss T. Come on up here for us. So our next panelist, I got to tell y'all a quick little story. When I was getting ready to come to Sacramento, I was originally being recruited to be a principal at Sac High. And when I finally got offered the job with the district, I called some folks in Sacramento that I knew, and I said, okay, I need to know community. Who do I talk to? The first name that came out their mouth was Daryl Roberts. They said, if you don't see anybody else, you make sure you go see him. And I did that. I reached out to him. I think even before I got to Sacramento, I told him I was coming. And then, of course, I got to meet the better half, Miss Tina, who's sitting back here in the back. Just wave for us, Mama Roberts, y'all. Who also gave me game to help me understand how to move here in Sacramento, how to move in the district, how things were moving in after school, but to really just understand, you know, that now that I have my feet planted, right, someone who came from Illinois, that this is now home. And when my family back in Chicago and Kankakee would say, when you coming home, I always said, I'm home. Y'all can come out here where I live and call home. But I'm going to give you a little bit about Mr. Roberts. Daryl Roberts was born in New Orleans, but finished high school in Los Angeles. He grew up in the St. Bernard housing projects of New Orleans, where he learned the values of setting high standards for yourself, no matter the size of one's paycheck. His receiving his undergraduate degree from Chapman University and graduate work at USC School of Governmental Relations coincided with his moving to Sacramento in 1982. He quickly became a visible figure in Sacramento for his willingness to work in some of the toughest and most economically challenged communities. He is a respected community leader who has a proven track record of success administering community-based organizations. With 30-plus years of experience as an administrator and program developer, he is known as a doer. His professional life has been committed to improving the lives of the children and families he encounters. And as I said, in 2001, he and his wife Tina co-founded the Roberts Family Development Center located in North Sacramento, just right up the street over there. If y'all didn't know, I'm going to let him tell more about his story in a moment, but y'all give it up for Mr. Daryl Roberts. And our last panelist is actually coming up to us. We had to reach out to him. He came in and saved the day. We had another panelist that was going to be with us tonight, but some things happened personally for him, and this gentleman showed up, and we are excited to have Manuel Redas, a proud native of the Vacaville, Elmira, I hope I'm saying that correctly, area in California. Thank you, T. I appreciate the data that I'm reading this correctly. His family is from Laguna Grande. Ooh, I'm a totally jack this one up. I'm not even gonna say it. It's in Mexico though. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that. I'm gonna let you say that one, Manuel. With a passion for education, Manuel holds 3 college degrees and 5 teaching credentials from UC Davis, Sac State, and Solano Community College. Over the span of 41 years, he made a lasting impact in both K-12 and higher education as a bilingual teacher, outreach coordinator, and college counselor. I will again have him also share more about his story. Y'all give it up for Manuel Redas. All right. Let's have a seat. I told T she's trying to put us to sleep with these nice chairs. Nice and comfy up here. So, we're going to go ahead and get things started. How many microphones? I want to make sure we're good to be able to share and spread them around. One for everybody. We're good to go. Before I jump into the questions that we have up here, one of the things that I want to make sure we recognize is that it is National Mentoring Month, and I appreciate that Tanya brought that up. And with it being National Mentoring Month, one of the things that we have tried to really dive into is how do we give love to the mentors who are showing up every day, whether it be mentors for adults or mentors for young people. We just really want to make sure that our mentors get love too. So the first thing I'm going to ask you all is to really take an opportunity to give flowers to somebody right now. Can I go first? I'm going to give it to you first, right? The goat. I'm going to give it to you first. So you go on and just break it down because I know you're ready. So talk to us, T. Who you giving flowers to?
I'm giving flowers to Daryl Roberts. He was the first person who could see me. In that, me doing what I do today, again, what you're sitting in is a destination. This is not a dance studio. This is a 44,000 square foot facility in the heart of something that people say is a bad community. No, it's an excellent community. It's the perfect place for us to prove what we already know is the truth. When I met this man, he could see what I'm doing today the day I met him, which was far from what I'm doing now. This the GOAT. Jackie White.
Come on.
Marcus Struthers. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, Jasmine Martinez. These people in this room right now are the people that could see me when I was wearing Walmart sweats and I had an idea. And they allowed me to be me in a way that caused me to become. So if I'm giving flowers, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a product of your investment in me.
Come on, y'all. I told Miss C we're gonna get her crying up here today. She don't think so. Cry. I'm just saying. So, Mr. Roberts, talk to us. You know, if I handed you a blank thank you note, who you gonna write it to and why?
Thank you, T. Appreciate you. I'm gonna deviate a little bit and say to you, that would be a letter to those in heaven.
Come on.
My wife will tell you, my desire is to please the mom that raised me, the grandfather and grandmother who took me out of New Orleans and made sure I understood the purpose around family and who I was. And had it not been for those two, my dad is still alive, 95 years old, but I'll tell you, my mother was the rock. Grandfather and grandmother were the directors of my life. And I think when in college, I don't think I made a move without calling my grandfather, who had never graduated from college, never spent time on college, but understood life. He had a PhD in life. And because of that, Roberts Fan Development Center exists today. Because of that, I'm sitting before you and saying the things that you, whatever I've done for you in life, if I've supported you in any way, shape, or form, it was a byproduct of the fact that they supported me. And if I can give them roses, if I can give them thanks, today I would give them thanks and their honor.
That's beautiful. And you just gave that. Y'all give it up for him. Absolutely. So, Manuel, we're coming down to you. If you had an opportunity to thank somebody, someone who's been a mentor, family, whoever that may be for you, who would you lift up?
Well, I have a lot of mentors, as you know. A lot of us have our grandparents, our parents, close family. In my professional life, I've had mentors, Joe Serna and his wife, Isabel. I worked for her at Sac State when I was kind of a green graduate student there. So I would, give my kudos to them. I also really appreciate this community. I raised my kids just up the road here at Norwood in Maine, 32 years there. And in my professional capacity, I did a lot of outreach in this community, Grant High, a lot of the elementary schools. We would even go knocking door to door. We called it the ARC ministry because we would go to apartment complexes and we would, encourage people to go to college. So it's a beautiful community, and I really appreciate you inviting me back to this community.
That's beautiful. Y'all give it up. So, Mr. Roberts, I'm going to come to you with this next question to start us out, and we're going to come around because we all have a little bit of history here in Sacramento, but you have a very rich history in being able to be sustainable, right? Stable, longevity, what that looks like. And there's a lot of people, Ray and I talk about capacity building for organizations a lot. Ms. Jackie and I talk about capacity building for organizations and understanding, especially from a community-based space, you want to get into mentoring, you want to get into school districts. How do I get the contracts? What does that look like? What do you think people need to know and understand in trying to do mentoring, youth development work here in Sacramento as they either are starting their journey, maybe early in their journey, or are still on their journey and trying to figure out where they want to go next?
Consistency. Being persistent. Consistent, persistent, being unafraid, and be willing to take a chance on yourself. Much of the work of Roberts Fan Development Center today started simply by us saying we're open to stepping up and trying. We didn't always have the credentials, but Roberts Fan Development Center staff members have a reputation of having heart. Because of that, we are willing to make an attempt to do what others would not do. Often I get calls from school districts today, would you be willing to try? And typically that's what we did. We are the largest provider of Freedom School slots in the country. We have this year as many as 800 students will be a part of that. It started with a friendship nod from our friends at Sac City High School, Sac City School District. And they were in Tennessee and said, we think we found a partner who would be willing to work with you, the Children's Defense Fund. Had no clue the Children's Defense Fund was other than Dr. Edelman at that time. But the more we found out about it, the more it made sense for us. So we took a step that summer. That's almost 12 years ago. And today, 12 years later, we're one of the leading organizations with the National Children Defense Fund's Freedom School. Most of the things that we do are because we have made that attempt. We stuck through the difficult time. Some days there have been challenges. Sometimes we've been attacked. Sometimes there have been personal attacks. You have to understand, if you are doing what you think is the right thing to do, that's going to happen. So as I think about the reason we're still here, being persistent, being consistent, and sometimes insisting that you be given a chance. Is what happens.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. So I'm gonna come this way, Ms. T, just from a different perspective, then go back to 31 years in doing this work. This is new for you, right? Like, this has been a dream. And one of the things, to Mr. Roberts' point, that we are trying to say to folks doing this work is that we want you to dream, but we want you to dream knowing it's possible, but it's not possible without failure, without those opportunities that feel like they're going to work out that don't work out, but you still keep going. What got you here, and what would you give to people who are thinking about, I want to have a space like this. I want to do work like Ms. T. I think I can dance too. I don't think I can dance, but I'm saying some other folks. But talk to us.
I think you have to be clear about why you're doing what you're doing. I think sometimes someone can look at the fact that, you're sitting in 1/8 of what we own. We own this entire block. And I think sometimes you can say, well, I want to own a building, but no, I don't want to own a building. If you really want to know, I didn't want to buy a building. It's a lot of responsibility, fiscally and the upkeep and such. What I wanted to do is serve as many young people as I can to give them the absolute advantage of living the best possible life and lifestyle. In order for me to do that, I had to have a space where I could concentrate my efforts, develop champions that would help me produce more champions. And then if I bring them into a space, I couldn't bring them into something that wasn't excellent, because champions need excellence in order to breed excellence into the world. And we were launching excellence out into the world, and they were coming home and needing something that they can help us develop more. So I think being clear about your why will keep you doing it when you don't got the money. It'll keep you doing it when don't nobody else want to help you. It'll keep you doing it when no one else can see what only you can see, because God gave it to you. So if you're very clear about why you're doing what you're doing, the peripherals don't matter. And then if you're clear about your why, passion complements the resources, and the people you need will come to you.
Come on now. So I need my DJ to cue some church music in a moment. Ray, Tariq, y'all got the offering plates. We need the fun, sack healthy hearts. Get a little money coming around, I'm just saying. So Manuel, talk to us. Same question for you, like 30 plus years, right? Multiple college degrees, multiple communities. How do you stay in this work and have longevity, have success, being sustainable? What does that look like?
I think for a lot of us, it's based on family and community, because that's what gives you strength, is your family, your community. Because in any endeavor that you get involved in, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be difficult people that you have to work with, but if you have a solid foundation, if you have people backing you up, then you can work around some of those obstacles or challenges and make it. And I'll give an example. Back in 1982, a few of us educators got together, and we started a nonprofit organization called the Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Project. And it was modeled after Girls State, Boys State, to develop leadership among high school students, because they weren't getting accepted to those programs, and the programs didn't have offer a lot for them. And of course, they weren't running for student body president at their high schools. They weren't running for student council. So we started this, and we included a cultural component, whereby we would highlight the history and culture and those aspects of the community. And it's persisted to this day, you know, in spite of hardship, you know. It's gone through, you know, ups and downs and, you know, budget challenges, but it's still going strong. It's expanded. Now it's 120 10th and 11th grade students that are brought to the state capitol for 8 days. And it's an intense program because it's from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, and there's all of these motivational speakers, and there's a lot of mentoring going on because we have, for every 10 students, we have a professional, I say adult facilitator who happens to be a college graduate and professional, but we also have a peer counselor, and so we pass that mentoring on through the generations. And it's been very successful. It's expanded now. There's a LA Institute, there's a Bay Area Institute, and there's a Central Valley Institute helping develop leadership amongst high school students.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing work. So, Ms. T, thinking about this, I want to come to you, starting this question off for us. So, a lot of times we're in spaces, especially now as I'll call us seasoned folks doing this work, and you'll meet people who say, "Oh my God, I want to do what you're doing. How'd you do that?" Right?
At first, I laughed.
It's all right. It's all right.
You don't want to do it.
But what
sure you
often
want to?
happens, right? What often happens is you exchange information or you
Sure.
tell them to connect with you on LinkedIn, and then you never hear from them.
That part.
Can we talk about the art of following up?
Sure, 100%.
How important is that?
100%. So I'll offer first that, you know, the people that I pointed out in the room that I gave, you know, flowers earlier, it wasn't that we met the first time. I had to call again, I had to email again, and then I'm a little gorilla with my stuff, so I'll show up. I don't need an appointment to be present. And so, again, the follow-up, I think that's where most people miss it. And again, you know, Mr. Roberts mentioned it earlier, is consistency and persistence. And again, being clear about your why. Like, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, you can keep knocking. Knock, 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 ask, ask, ask. I can tell you I've been doing this in this city for 25 years. Have been doing this collectively for 39. So none of this happened overnight. It happened because you follow up, and you follow up, and you ask for help, and you just get your breadcrumbs along the way. And then as you're getting your breadcrumbs, before you know it, you'll have enough crumbs to build something magnificent that causes other people to be full. And so again, that follow-up piece is key, and I find that most people miss it because they're not willing to do the investment of time in what they say they believe they're supposed to do. And I think if you put your time into it, that's evidence that you actually believe that you have this dream and you're going to do it.
Come on. So you just talked about some, yeah, y'all can give it up for that. So I've been blessed to work now for the last about 8-9 years with Muhammad Ali's family. Mm-hmm. And before the champ passed away, one of the things that he always would say to us at a conference called Rumble Young Man Rumble that we would host in Louisville is that there's people now who don't want to do the road work. Mr. Roberts and Manuel, I want to come to both of you with this question. Can you talk about the road work? Because folks see Miss T and Studio T and what's happening. They see Mr. Roberts and the RFDC Center and the remodeling of the center. Manuel, I'm sure they see 10, 12, 20 years of stuff thinking like, I want that part, not recognizing the road work. Can you talk a little bit about the road work? And what Muhammad Ali meant by that, to dive a little deeper, was, yeah, I'm the champion, you know, in many different spaces, but it's the stuff I do before I get in the ring that get me to that space. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I saw Wesley Marshall. Mr. Marshall, you mind? Thank you. I say that for a reason. I've been knowing Mr. Marshall since he was a young man. He was a teenager. Thank you. That's right. I wear this sweatshirt of the state champion Grant High School Pacers. Let's go Pacers. I'm an honorary Pacer for life. If Mr. Marshall wants to be honest, when I first came here, it was not that way. for 10 years, the principal at Grant would go by Roberts Fan Development Center on his way to a restaurant. He didn't think I was going to be here very long. It took me a long time to ask him why he wouldn't stop by. But when I did, he was just be honest. I thought you'd be like everybody else. I think more than anything else, are you willing to do the road work so that people see you're serious?
There you go.
For our first 10 years, when I wasn't a part of Del Paso Heights, I was in North Sac. I always tell the story that the first time I came to Del Paso Union Baptist Church, Deacon Wendell Echols, one of the legends of Del Paso Heights, let me know right after I stood up in church, my wife and I were together, introduced myself, introduced my wife, and said, we're going to be serving the Del Paso Heights community. And after I sat down, Deacon Echols, this very slight man, but a giant, stood up behind me and said, Brother Roberts, it's very, very nice that you're in our neighborhood, but you're serving North Sacramento, not Del Paso Heights yet. It took me 10 years to start serving Del Paso Heights. But when I did, you know the first person I reminded, Deacon Echols, we're serving Del Paso Heights now. The reward that gave me was about, again, consistency. People didn't believe. It took them a long time to believe it, but our being here every day, our serving in every space we could serve, our asking to serve in spaces where others were not, our willingness to be in those places that others didn't think were attractive, were not high profile. Sometimes moving the tables, the chairs, and pushing the bleachers in was where we started. And honestly, that's how we earned our stripes. The road work was that. It was done on a daily basis.
Love that. Love that. Pushing in the bleachers, right? And nothing we can't do. Make sure these babies have what they have. Absolutely. Man, well, talk to us. What's that road work look like for you? And what would you say to folks who are thinking about still trying to do this work and find the right space?
Well, I think for me, the road work was a lot of your personal time spent in the evenings or weekends, what we call serving the cause, or in Spanish we say la causa, because where I started at American River College, actually that was 10 years after the start of my career. I was a junior high school teacher, then a college outreach at Sac State and UC Davis. But my 31 years at ARC, I was a club advisor, which was beyond your assignment. That was something you spent extra time on. And the clubs that I work with were predominantly Latino students, bilingual, and many of them undocumented. We even had, toward the end, an undocumented club called the Dreamer Club. And they were very hungry to go out and serve their communities. And I would help coordinate that, but they would do a lot of the legwork. They would do a lot of the road work. I had students going back to their high school, talking to their ESL teacher or a counselor or any staff member who was willing to work with them to set up a presentation. And we would round up a group of students, and we would go and we'd meet in the library or in an ESL classroom, and they would do this presentation either all in Spanish or bilingually, and they would give their personal testimonials. So it was that mentoring, from first year or second year college student going back to their high school, telling these students who have no concept of college, no self belief that they're college material, and they're telling them, you can do it if I can do it. You're smarter than me. I know you, and that was very powerful. But it took, evenings. We would do churches. We would do the St. Rose in Roseville. We would take, 10 students there, and they would give their testimonials. The priest even asked us to do it during Mass. Usually it was during religious class, but we actually got to get up in the pulpit and give a message. So I think those are the types of experiences for me that were part of the road work.
Love that. Love that. Yes, sir. Yep.
So one thing I do remember that most people don't know, we weren't always funded to do what we did. And people don't understand that's part of the work. You show people what you can do, and they will find funding for you. I'm going to tell you, most of the things that we do today at Robertson Development Center, we were doing before anybody paid us $1.
Come on.
Anybody funded us. So when I look at young people today, when we talk about this work, if you are doing this just for a paycheck, this ain't the work for you. I might as well tell you it's not going to work for you. However, if you are sincere, if this is your vision, if this is, you understand your why, and you do continue to do this work, eventually you will be rewarded.
That's right, sir.
You really will.
Beautiful. And touching on that, my wife will share this with people all the time. I was a district teacher and administrator running a mentoring program back in Kankakee, Illinois. 17 years. Never got paid to do that. 17 years. And it's just part of who we are, how we show up. And eventually you do see the rewards, right? And I have to say this to my sons often. Like, you are seeing this version of me now, not recognizing that 24-year-old me wasn't in that same space. 30-year-old me got to a point where I was almost like, like, skip these kids. I can't do this no more. I'm getting tired, right? Like, understanding that this is lonely work. Like, let's just be honest. And one of the things that I think people don't find enough, and the reason why I asked the question about the art of the follow-up is because you aren't going to be able to do this alone. And if your opportunity to try to learn from me is the accident, right? Because we happen to be in the same space. Ooh, let me try to get as much time with Marcus. Well, guess what? It's a whole bunch of people in here trying to get Mr. Roberts, trying to get Miss T. Jackie, I need contracts. Jackie got 4 people that asked her for contracts today already. Like, these aren't the times, right? Like, if you really wanted the time, like, you got to create this circle, and you got, like, come on, can we do coffee? Let's go take a walk, right? Mr. Roberts, as soon as he seen me, came up, grabbed me, was like, man, I'm proud of you. And it's those moments, because I know he knows my journey, even in the 10 years here, trying to figure out what this is going to look like, right? It's Miss T saying, ooh, I got this great lunch spot, this new spot, let's go sit. Not knowing that this was going to be a 5.5-hour session about, Marcus, we got to figure out how I get this space. This is what I'm trying to do. But you can't call me in between the needs. Call me in between the needs. That's how we build. Ray and I gonna be in DC together next week. We can't wait. Ray already said, man, I need some sessions. We're gonna sit down and talk. Right? So understanding this is lonely work. You gotta lean on each other. So I wanna give flowers for a moment. Jasmine's back there in the back. Jackie up here in the front. Like, I don't know if people recognize the importance of artists and mentors doing work together, right? Go on, come on, clap for that. Yeah, come on. And the vision, that these beautiful human beings had to put this together. Can you all talk a little bit about why you feel artists and mentors working together is important, not only for Sacramento and the Elk Groves in our area here, but even beyond here, because what we know, and Jackie will probably talk about this in a little bit, like, the state is recognizing the work that is happening here. So I want folks to hear from you all, like, why is it important for artists and mentors to be in space together? Yes, and then we're gonna go all the way down the line.
So just so you know, this is my headquarters. Studio T is in every major school district in the state of California. We populate Fresno, San Diego, Los Angeles, Tulsa, Philadelphia, Harlem, New York, and Atlanta, Georgia. You're sitting in my headquarters. And every time I show up and bring program to these different counties, cities, states, countries now, we're international, people wonder, how on earth do you know how to do what you do? And it's not just that I'm a creative human being, because I am, but it's partnerships with people that can help you shape the administrative facet of things, the contractual facet of things, I didn't understand the contracts, but the contracts are necessary in order for you to do business with the people that can actually pay you what you're worth and help scale what you do. So I was doing a lot of work just so I can eat, but I needed to do the kind of work that would help me eat and build. And so having partnerships with a Jackie White, that was the greatest incubator for me in developing mobile programming. Now we're a national program, but it started with us going to every single elementary school in the Twin Rivers Unified School District under the auspice of the Masterpiece program. That started with her seeing me and 2 other individuals. Jasmine putting together, they said, do you have curriculum? What the heaven is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, Running Man, Roger Rabbit, what are you talking about? Step, clap. You learn how to develop these things, but not until you're engaging with the people that can help you not just shape your program, but fortify it in a way that it's strong enough for you to build on. And they helped me do that here. Now, people come from all over the country to study this. We're very unique here in Sacramento. And I think sometimes you can grow familiar because you're here all the time. We're special. People come and study what we do, and then they pay me a lot of money to go build it in their cities.
Come on. Come on. The thing I want to point out that Ms. T just spoke to that we really want folks to understand, right? So another beautiful human being that I had the opportunity to work with for many years, Dylan. Dylan, raise your hand. I'm also putting Dylan on the spot because Dylan works for Sac City Unified. Y'all want some other contracts, find him today too. So, but the other part of this, and Dylan knows this, and Ms. T, Mr. Roberts, you can probably speak to this as I hand it off to you. The other thing we need folks to understand is that it's not enough to just do the work with the babies. It's not enough. We know you want to do that. That's beautiful. We know I just want to be I just want to do the work. Great. But I need you to know how to write a report. I need you to know how to budget. I need you to be on time. Right? Like, we need you to understand that you can't just do the work with the young people. And here's the thing. If you're that person, if your love and passion and work is with the babies, great. Then get you somebody that can do the other stuff. It's okay. If that's not your forte, fine. But get somebody that could do that for you, because guess what? Dylan gonna have to call you in the office in a moment and be like, yo, you killing me. Like, I can't do that. Jackie gonna have to call you in like, you can't listen, program starts at 3:30. You can't call me at 3:25 talking about I'm gonna be an hour late. Like, so when I say that, I want people to understand, like, the capacity building of this work is not just about you doing the work with the babies. Get you a Miss Tina. Get you a good partner, somebody that can help you move in these spaces, because you're going to want to get in the school districts, and you can't ask the school districts, you can't ask the county offices of education, you can't ask the California Endowment to bow down to your incapabilities of doing what they need you to do so that they can be in compliance. You got to understand, everybody is answering to somebody.
And this is business.
Absolutely.
This is the business of service. And if it's your expectation to have some kind of remuneration for what you do, you just got to do good business.
Come on.
And I think that a lot of teaching artists, a lot of well-meaning, good-hearted people miss tremendous opportunity to be impactful with their craft because they don't practice good business. Get some insurance. You can't get a contract with any of these districts without it. Know how to read a contract. If you can't, save your money. Do not go to Starbucks. Don't drive through nothing. Welcome to nothing. May I help you? Nothing. You take that money and you hire an attorney to help you read your stuff.
Come on.
Do good business. Otherwise, it's just a nice idea. But it's not something that you can use to impact somebody's life, to survive yourself, thrive yourself, feed your family, and build a legacy with. Think past today. 10 years from now, what's your mark?
Mr. Roberts, what you got?
First of all, I heard you say get you Miss Tina. You can't get a Miss Tina. I got Miss Tina.
She one of a kind, one of a kind. I get it.
And
We'll get something close,
I'll
something
say,
close.
But you remember, because of our partnership, husband and wife, co-founders of Roberts Fan Development Center, really unique. You know, we still like each other.
Oh, that's right.
We do.
Y'all heard that back in the back. It ain't just Mr. Roberts saying it.
Look.
She co-signed.
I'll jokingly say, now we don't work in the same building, right? I work in now we do. Since COVID, actually, I do work sometime I'm in her office. Again, she still likes me. I'll tell you that because this work requires you to have partners who assist you in making sure you do good business. I have a co-partner in the work. We also have an attorney in the work. We have a full-time finance director in the work. We didn't always have that. 4 years ago, when we were getting our behinds beat in public, it was because we couldn't account for. Now we had done anything embezzled, or you didn't hear that word, we couldn't account for. The business side wasn't being handled correctly. It required us to focus on the business of providing services. So when I hear Ms. T say that, I'm happy to realize when we first met, that wasn't a strong suit. As I hear her passionately talk about it, it's because we went through the fires. She will tell you that's the only reason we're able to continue. Right. So as we talk about doing the work, make sure you're taking care of business. I think of Roberts Fan Development Center 25 years. Daphne Burgess, an artist, was our initial grant writer. Now people don't even know that. Daphne started as a grant writer. One day I go to an art exhibit on Del Paso Boulevard, right down the street, and I see this painting that caught my attention. Beautiful painting. It said D. Burgess. D. Burgess. It hangs in a friend of ours' home today. I went to her and said, "What are you doing?" Well, my job is grant writing. My passion is the arts. Today, her and her husband have their own art institute. I'll call it just that. She and Milton. It's about building the business. I'll tell you the other thing that Roberts Fan Development Center has been able to do: attract and retain quality young professionals.
Come on.
And may I take, if you at Roberts Fan Development Center, raise your hand or stand up, please.
Look at that, y'all give it up. Come on. She's standing, y'all.
No.
I'm messing with folks.
Now,
Come on.
I feel honored that they're a part of Roberts because they are the workers that get it done. Right. When you introduced me, you said Roberts is a doer. I learned a while ago that I'm no longer that doer. I'm the one that plays the Mr. Roberts role. They're the ones who do the Roberts Family Development Center work. Yep. True story. Yep. So in my opinion, it grows. And you will grow professionally if you recognize those are the pieces that you have to take care of.
Love that. And Manuel, I'm gonna come to you in a second, just to jump in on this same point. But Mr. Roberts, you lifted up something in terms of like finding the right people, knowing your strong suits. One of the things that we see often in Fresno, Jackie is going to Fresno with us. I will say this, and Ms. T, and this is right when you're thinking about when Ms. T says, I'm in Fresno now. I remember Ms. T calling me, Marcus, who I need to talk to in Fresno. Like, come on, we're gonna make the connection.
Because I saw a statistic. We was losing kids at a completely different, alarming rate in that valley, and I didn't feel like people were addressing it in a way that we can turn those numbers. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you look for somebody to do the thing, and the somebody is you.
That's right. So one of the things that I want to say for folks who may be in the space that you don't have, I can get a grant writer. Cool. But if you start working together, stop trying to be the big dog. Your one organization can't get all the babies in Sacramento. But if you come together with somebody, we could share costs. Yeah, you go. Right? I know a grant writer costs $3,000. All right, well, let's share cost on that. Bring 4 people in, and we're going to figure it out. But come together. Y'all can still do your separate work, but y'all could hold each other when it comes to some of these larger business pieces that you just may not be ready for yet.
And
So
that's
just
smart
something else to think.
business.
Smart business,
That's smart.
right? So Manuel, help us out thinking about just this idea of, we've shared a lot already, but like, what does this look like? You know, when we have artists and mentors, like, why do you think that's important? And what else would you add to the conversation of just doing good business?
Well, I haven't been really strong in the private business world. I've been a public educator. But as far as it relates to the arts, you know, my family, going back to my parents, always instilled in us a pride in our heritage, our culture, our music and dance. And that started when it was 11 of us, us 9 kids and my parents. We basically were living in a 2 boxcars, because my father worked for Southern Pacific. 2 boxcars and an outhouse, you know, no indoor toilet or anything. And so it was a little crowded, but my parents, they loved the traditional Mexican music. There's something called the corrido, which is an old Mexican ballad. And the original ones talked about the Mexican Revolution and stuff. Well, we took that and we brought it up with the family. My father played guitar and sang. We formed a little conjunto, that's like a 4-piece Mexican band with accordion. And then when our kids were born, my son and daughter, they picked up the accordion, so now they play that. But they also became, well, my daughter became a folk dancer, ballet folklorico, you know. And now she's in the process of starting her own studio. And so, you know, it's passing on that love for the culture. We were in a band, a local band for 25 years, highly successful from 1980 to 2005. We played almost every weekend, weddings, dances, quinceañeras, but a lot of fundraisers for community, for church. And when we started that band, it was the father of adult children, like me. His kids were in the band. And then in 1980, when the band started, the first grandchild was born. And when she became 13, she joined the band. And then when my kids were born, they joined the band. And that was their high school job, you know, for 4 years. But they learned a lot about contributing to community through the arts, you know. And I think that's really valuable to pass that on. Pardon? Oh, my son? Yeah. Oh, you know him, huh? So my son Marcos, he's a folklorista, which means you carry on the tradition of folk music. He went to UCLA, he studied ethnomusicology, and then when he graduated, he got a job with a multi-Grammy winning artist, Pepe Aguilar, and his daughter now, Angela, is like, you know, big, you know, Grammy nominated. And so he works for them, but his main full-time job is he's a sound engineer for the LA Philharmonic, and he's the lead audio engineer at the Ford Theater, which is the oldest amphitheater in LA.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Now I'm just gonna
that's
say,
kinda cool.
at the start of this, you said that you weren't really successful in the whole business thing. Like, this sound like y'all have done pretty well. Everybody out there is like, well, 25 years plus ain't successful. I think that's success. Y'all give it up. That's amazing. Come on now. Miss Tanya, how we doing on time back there? I haven't gotten my Oscar. I need to close my speech time. Okay. So, looking at, I know it's 6:55, thinking about, what does that say 10? Girl, I can't see that. You held up some white piece of paper. You got a marker? What's that say, 10 minutes? Right, there we go. Right, there you go, Jay. You could have just been like 10. Let me say this out loud. Tanya and Jeb, I love them both. This is our banter. This is what we do. She know I'm gonna be talking about her. Like, so I'm curious, while we have time, thinking about you all sitting out here, let's open it up to the audience. We got about 10 minutes, and I'm gonna see if there's any question. My man, don't bring up Marcos though. You gotta go somewhere else. Come on.
When I went to school.
That's love right there. That's love. And I want to say thank you for doing that, right? Because it also pushes me into a place just by show of hands. And I want you to just take a moment before you answer this question. But just by show of hands, is there somebody you know you could thank right now that has done something in your life? If you can think about that person, just by show of hands. So what I'm going to ask y'all to think about is if you have not done that, do that. It don't have to be tonight. Don't have to be tomorrow. But do it, and do it as soon as you can. That I will say. And I also want to say this, just because Jackie's daughter is here today, and there might be some sons and daughters. Ray is here with his father. Yesterday, we were at UC Davis doing this same type of work, and we asked kind of the same question. And the one woman said, you know, this probably is strange. I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. Like, I want to give my flowers to my mom. And we all were kind of taken aback. We were like, why is that strange? And she was like, well, that, you know, everybody would say their mom and dad. And I said, you'd be shocked how many times a child doesn't tell their parent thank you. We need that too. I'm saying that because I'm a daddy too. Like, it's good to hear that. So if your mama and daddy still around, even if they're not around and you could just feel their energy, like, just say thank you. Mama and daddy need that love too. Tell your mama thank you. Opening it up. Anybody else? Any questions out there in the audience? Don't be shy now. Come on.
You know, every time we get to this kind of a part in one of these things, and I don't see hands flying in the air, it tells me where you're at. We just told you what we do. You're sitting in what we've built, and you don't have any questions? Do you understand the only reason we literally have other things to do? The only reason we sitting up here is for you. Not that we need another interview. He just told y'all he saw me on some Motown thing. Like,
Don't say some Motown thing.
I'm
Like,
just
it was
saying.
It was a pretty big deal.
I'm just saying. So this is not where we need to be. This is where we choose to be because we want to serve you.
We got a question. See what you did? Look at that. Look at that. Come on. We're going to start right over here, and then we'll come to you, ma'am.
I would just like to ask if you were to give your younger, original self advice from where you're standing right now, from where you're sitting right now, what would you have told your younger self to maybe inspire you past the stuck or past the trial or past the low motivation or the loneliness or, you know, what would you advise your younger self at this time?
Who wants to start?
Well, I would say, I would tell my younger self, you know, don't be afraid, you know, because when you're young, you get scared, you know, and when you come from poverty and you come from, you know, an immigrant community, you feel like, you know, you're less than, that you don't belong. And I think it's overcoming that fear and, you know, continuing, you know, to persevere.
I think it's the telling the younger self, you can do it. Sometimes I think years and years and years ago, I maybe doubted you can do it. I was fortunate there were people around me, but I'm not sure I had that at that moment. So if I go back 40 years, you can do it. That would be the piece I'd say to myself.
And then I grew up in extreme poverty. My mom's single mom, 6 kids. We grew up in the ghetto. And I don't say that because it's a bad thing. I say that because it's a stellar thing. It gave me a different kind of a survival skill and an acumen that you cannot learn unless you live the life that I lived. So what I would say to the young person that could see who I am today only in my imagination and my dreams, you are exactly who you need to be to become who you see. You don't need a degree, get one if you want, but you're exactly who you need to be to show up in this world and make a difference.
Love all of that. Love all of that. I'm going to jump in and say all of those things would be things I would want to say to myself. But one other thing that I really often share when I get this question often, is to shut up. Like there were moments in my life when I was younger where I thought I understood or I thought I knew. And I say this to younger folks all the time. I remember older cats saying to me, I've been where you trying to go. We all done heard it. I've been where you trying to go. Just listen. You know, like, you don't understand. Y'all didn't have internet. Right? Like all the things. And it was about the age of 25 where I was like, that's what Mr. Hudson was talking about. God dang it. Man, had I just listened, I might have prevented what I'm having to go through right now. So that I would say shut up, for sure. So I'm gonna come to you, ma'am, and then Jasmine, I seen you in the back.
So, first of all, I want to thank you all for the nuggets. I mean, incredible information, incredible sharing. Loved every minute. I didn't come here for this. I came here as a plus one. But you'd be surprised of all the things that you get along the way when you.
You were supposed to be here.
I was supposed to be here, right? So, but I want to know, do you all still have mentors today?
I would shoot. I'm supposed to be moderating, but I'm just yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like, first, I don't think you will ever not. For me, I don't think I'll ever not have somebody that I'm trying to learn from. Right? Like I'm always looking at that. So I have people in my physical space, right? And recognize. I consider Jackie White a mentor for me, because she understands like county and district and school district work in a way that I don't know many people to understand it, right? So she still is consistently teaching me stuff. Mr. Roberts, since the moment that I got here, right, has been that for me. And then I would also say my young people, they teaching me stuff all the time. All the time. So I would say for me, yes.
There you go. And I'm glad you said the young people. Some of my greatest teachers right now, and again, I'm seasoned in my craft, but some of my greatest teachers right now, you guys put your hands up, do something, dance or something, all the way up so they can see you, are my babies. They inspire me every day. Like this room you sitting in, the walls, painting the walls, cleaning the floors, setting stuff up, tearing stuff down. I look to higher adults to help me. My babies do circles around people twice their age. I got a vetted content creator for the White House. He walks the same hallways as the President of the United States, but he'll come and do this for us tonight. I have vetted content creators for the largest media house in the world called Disney. But they'll come in here and mop this floor with me so you have something excellent to experience when we come in and do things like this. They teach me. I definitely teach them. You ask them, I'm on them. But they teach me every day. And they make sure I don't lose grip on the childlikeness that's necessary to keep dreaming bigger. They mentor me all the time.
Love it. Sir, should I tell you what filter I need? I just want to make sure I look good. Totally kidding.
Well, you know
Mr.
what? He
Rector.
designed the light for you.
Oh,
I
he
asked him,
did?
this too bright.
That-
Yeah, that's
yeah.
why that one's warm. I'm telling you, he was thinking about it.
I thought you was just because my mama white, my daddy black.
That's not what happened. What?
Totally kidding. Mr. Roberts, do you have any mentors?
So, when I first met you, I knew this. Yeah. So I am the way I am today because there have been mentors before me, people who opened the doors, who let me pop in, who allowed me to just stop and talk, who made space, who told the secretary at the front, who told a young man at the door, let him in, he's all right. Today, most of those young people who I'm looking at in the audience who I've been around, it is because of my mentors that I've been open enough to be available to you. So when I hear Marcus say I'm a mentor, I appreciate that, but trust me, Marcus, before I got to the space where you called me, there were those who were talking to me and making themselves available to accept a call from me. So today I'll be that person no matter what. because others were that person to me.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yes, brother.
Thank you. Manuel, you're going to answer this for us, and then our last two, we're going to do that in a speed round. Don't shake your head, Jasmine. I'm coming back to you. Manuel, you got any mentors right now?
Well, they recently passed. My father passed recently at 97, and my father-in-law at 98. And the example that they gave, having no more than a third grade education, their work ethic was so powerful, in how they raised their families. It really, it made me want to do more, and I became their caregiver in their last years, and you think you're never going to want to clean your dad's butt, or less even your father-in-law, but when you get to that point, the respect that you have, you do it once, and then it's no big deal, because what they've done for you and your community.
Come on, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right, Jasmine, talk to us. What's your question?
If you can give any of our potential mentors or artists looking into this field 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Network.
Use your microphone, Mr. Robert.
I'm sorry. Network, network, network. When you're in a space like this, don't isolate yourself from others. If you don't know somebody in here, just say hello. Start from there. Network, network, network.
I would say work, respect, and love.
I would say character, integrity, and humility.
Beautiful, and I'll just end it with just saying, always show up.
Yeah.
I love you. If y'all don't know about those sweatshirts, I'm giving a little plug. You right down the street, go get one. Talk to us, brother. What's your question?
That's right.
Give it up, give it up. Yeah. Where'd you go to get the skills of good business?
Well, I'll tell you, one of my major mentors in business, he's transitioned to heaven already, but he was a pastor. And, I went to a church, and I went there broken. I lost everything when I went there. And I didn't need to be motivated. I needed to be educated in the realm of business. And he really took the time to concentrate his efforts and teach me business. So I learned a great deal of business from a pastor who was in the business of serving people, which is what I wanted to do. Secondly is, you don't need a college class. I mean, you have things like libraries, Google. So instead of investing my time in things that don't produce, I spent an absurd amount of time studying. In fact, I was a single mom, raising 3 kids. 2 of them were not well. While I was going to college full time, Dr. Molina, who was supposed to be here today, was also a mentor of mine. I graduated with honors because that man helped me.
Come on.
So I learned business from taking my babies to Barnes & Noble and sitting on the floor with books while they were in the kids section, and I studied. And one of the things I noticed, anybody that has any level of success, or you're looking at them and they look like they're a success, you got to plan for that. Most people don't win because they don't plan to win. So when you talk about business mentorship, it's everywhere right now. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, you got YouTube. What do you need to know? And then you challenge what you learn from those entities with somebody that you see doing it. And again, we're not hidden. You want to know some good business? You got here today.
Come on.
Ask us anything. Listen, I learned good business from this guy. I learned good business from this woman right here. Her thing, you wanna upset Jackie White? Be late. You wanna impress Jackie White? Be early. That's good business.
Mr. Roberts, what you got?
You know, I have to smile every time have to follow behind you. I say, she's so daggone inspirational. And what I mean by that,
That's because of you, sir. I'm telling you, he's a talent scout.
So-
he saw me in my Walmart sweats. I'm telling you,
I
people,
did.
the person that people look at today, he could already see that in me. You talk about a coach. This man is a coach, and he will treat you how he sees you, not how you are. And sometimes in order for you to grow in whatever you just need one person to do that for you. I learned good business by watching him do good business.
Thank you. I think that the answer to your question, in my opinion, is it's just about doing. I'm of the opinion most people don't do. They observe, they look, they think about, they question, they don't do. So you're not gonna make a mistake unless you do. But you also won't be successful unless you do. To me, that's what separates those of us who are still here and those of us who talked about being here. It's just doing. It's recognizing that there are people, not just, today there's people watching me. Before, there weren't people watching me, in my opinion. I was trying to do what I thought needed to be done. Today, I recognize as I do it, there are people who watch what I'm doing. So I need to make sure I'm doing it and being consistent about doing it. So, but it's about doing it. And some days, I don't feel like doing it. My wife will tell you, some days I don't feel like doing it. But if I walk out the door, I'm gonna be about doing it. Because I will tell you, I will not go to a place unless I recognize that I have a responsibility to continue. When he said being a doer, that's something I put on myself. So I know when I step out, I have to do.
Sir, can you scratch the surface of making mistakes while you're doing, though? Because that sometimes stops people from doing.
You will not be successful without failure. It's a part of it. I've seen people be successful, including people here, not you, sir, because we don't know each other yet. But I'll tell you, these two to my right are successful, but I've also seen them make mistakes. They learned from it and kept going. If you don't make a mistake, to me, you're simply not trying. That's it. Put an effort to it.
And the beauty of that, and I'm giving it to Manuel, is not only did he watch us make the mistakes, not only has Jackie watched us make the mistakes, she told us what we needed to do differently next time. He told us what we needed to do differently next time, right? And we learned, and now we're better for it. That's right. Manuel, what would you say to that final question?
I forgot the question.
That's all right. That's all right. The question was, how do you get into, like, where do you learn how to do good business?
Well, I learned some of my business from these mentors that hired me when I was 9 years old to do their yard. They were the first educated Mexicans I'd ever met in my life. They both went to college, but they both served in World War II. The wife built P-38 planes at Lockheed in LA, and the husband served in the artillery in Europe during World War II. And every time I got an A, they would give me a $2 bill. And that was a motivation for someone who didn't even know, what college was, but they were my example. I learned a lot from them.
Love that. Love that. And I'm going to end it with this. And Ms. T kind of spoke to this a little bit again, especially here in Sacramento, right? Like, we all get to go up and down the state, across the country, doing this work. But we're right here. And one of the things that I said years ago, I remember watching older cats get the contracts, get the awards for their programs, and I knew that they were hiring me to do the work. And I remember saying, like, can you help me get to the place of being able to do my own? Like, I want to do this as well. And it wasn't until I met one of my current mentors, Dr. Tyrone Bledsoe, who said, I have a college mentoring program. If you build out my high school mentoring program, let's run with it. And he walked me through what that looked like. And I said to myself, when I get to maybe the last 10 years of me like really being in this work, I want to give all my stuff away. I want to give it away. Like, come get this library. Let's go take a walk, right? Let's go grab coffee. Come get this library. And when I tell you, my wife will tell you that I'll never be done. I'll always consult. I'll always speak. But for me, like, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is retirement. And I'm huge on, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I'm not playing. Like, for me, and I don't mean this to sound egotistical, but listen, I got babies, other country babies. Like, I've been doing this work. Brother tired. And I want to trust that y'all got it, that I could let go. Because we know, it's some cats won't let go. Like, brother, you 83? Like, it's okay. Like, you didn't did your part. Like, it's all right. Like, give me your stuff. I got it from here, right? We just finished. I'll tell you how real it is for me. Mentor California, we just finished our 2025 to 2030 strategic plan. In that 2030 strategic year, I told my board, you need to find a new executive director. I'm out. It don't mean I don't love this work. It don't mean that I'm not going to show up in ways that I want to show up. But I will be 55, and I'll be damned if I'm going to end my job and my life of working to not be able to go enjoy life. So I'm telling you, I'm pleading with you. Like, literally, I hear Ms. T saying the same thing. I hear Mr. Rob. I'm pleading with you. Come get this library because I want to know our baby's going to be okay. And I'm going to tell you, I'll tell anybody. It's people who plumb. It's people who are basketball folks. It's people who are gardeners. That's what they do. They paint cars. They beautiful at it. I do education. That's it. I get kids. Yeah. You put me in a room of kids I ain't never met before. We're going to shut it down. It's going to be a blast. Right. This is what I do. Yeah. You want to do this work? You want to do it well? Come get this library. I'm telling you, I want to give it all away because I want to watch Chicago PD and not have to worry about no contracts. Don't nobody like fundraising, man. It's for the birds. No, I'm just playing. It's not. It's real work. But I just want to say, ending on that, like, real talk. Come get the library. It is here. It is available. There are many of folks out here doing it. Just come get the library. So with that, I want to say, first and foremost, y'all give it up to our panelists, right? And I love that we had the 3 words to be able to share that out. That was beautiful. But I will say, in your final thought, Ms. T, don't take us to church, because we final thoughts, then they coming up. I know how you are. You got 10 seconds to get them your final word. Don't laugh. Watch her do it. She gonna do it. You got 10 seconds, Motown.
Okay, 10 seconds to let you know that what we've built it for you. So my 10-second ask, if you will, is that you will, before you leave tonight, put your eyes on what's been built for you. Walk the building, look at the rooms, absorb it, and then dream bigger. Most often people don't dream big enough. You dream what you can do, dream what you can't do, and then let me help you do it.
Beautiful. Mr. Roberts, what you got?
I'm going to say, look in the room, look around the room. The people you know, great. The people you don't know, even better. Take the opportunity tonight to say hello, get to know them a little bit, and take that and continue that conversation outside of these rooms.
Beautiful. Manuel, what you got? Final thought.
Just, stick with your family, your community. That's what's going to give you strength and it's going to give you good health.
Come on. Thank y'all very much, very much.